Today I'd like to show you how to make this simple glued tear-off notepad from leftover paper scraps. When I recently had larger sheets cut for another bookbinding project, I asked the print shop to keep the leftover strips as well. So over the next few videos, I'll be turning these paper strips into different kind of notepads, which I'll show you in this and the next two videos. And we are starting with the simple tear-off notepad. This is probably one of the most practical paper projects I make because I use notepads like this all the time for grocery lists and to-do lists and notes and everyday planning. Don't know about you, but I'm definitely a list person and I love to write lists. I always like to find ways to use every piece of paper, and projects like this are a good reminder that even smaller leftovers can become something useful. Hi, I'm Joanna. Welcome back to my missredfox paper art channel. It's all about bookbinding and paper crafts for beginners here. And today we are making this little tear-off notepad that's simple, practical, and perfect for everyday use. For this project, I'm using leftover paper sheets from the print shop. They are 30, but you can use how many you like. And these are 15 by 8 centimeters. A piece of cardboard for the backing, and it has the same size as the paper sheets. Then a piece of cardstock for the cover. It's a little bit larger. It's 8 by 17.5 centimeters. Then you'll need PVA or bookbinding glue and a brush, clips or a book press, a ruler, a pencil, something to score. It can be a thin bone folder as well, scissors, and double-sided tape. The finished notepad is about 15 by 8 centimeters, and you can adapt this size to whatever paper scraps you have available. I will start by stacking and aligning all the pages and the cardboard carefully. And to glue the notepad, you can use clips like this or a book press if you have one. And I want to show that method as well. So if you've seen my previous video, you might recognize this one. It's a book press simply made from 2 kitchen boards, but it works wonderfully for small bookbinding projects like this. And I'll put a link into the description if you want to see that video. So I can use this, and then I would place my stack between the boards and then carefully remove the clips until only a little part of the notepad sticks out from the book press. And then you can remove this as well and apply glue here. But for this project, I will only use the clips. So stack again. And now I can start applying the glue. So this is PVA glue, and I prefer applying several thin layers rather than one thick layer. And this way the glue won't drop, but it still creates a stronger notepad spine. So just a tiny bit, and then carefully apply it here. Then you let this dry and apply another layer. And if some glue comes here over the first page, this is not a problem because I always add a page extra and then can tear it off when I finished gluing, so that the first page that you see is clean and has no glue on it. So now let this dry. It dries quite fast, so perhaps 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and then you can apply the second layer. Now the glue is dry and I remove the clips, and I will tear off the first page so it has no glue here and is ready to be used. Now I will make the cover from this piece of cardstock. It's longer than the notepad, as you can see, So my notepad is 15 centimeters high and this one is 17.5, because the spine is, in this case with 30 pages, 0.5 centimeters, so half a centimeter thick. And I want a bit of this cardstock here as well. So what I do, I align this cardstock with my notepad on the open side or the lower side. And clip this together. And then I turn it back, and now I have to make two folds. One fold is directly here where my spine ends, and the other fold is 0.5 centimeters further away, so exactly like the thickness of this notepad. And then I will wrap it around. So I take this one, but you can take a bone folder as well, and score cardstock here exactly where this notepad ends, and then fold it over. Now I can open this again and create the folds properly. You can use a bone folder for this, and then the second one. And before I assemble everything, I can now put some glue or some double-sided tape on this little flap. So one piece of tape at the beginning. You can cut it a little bit longer and we'll adjust after that. And one directly before this first fold. So like this. And now you can cut these pieces away. The only thing that you have to take care of is not to put glue or double-sided tape on this fold that goes over the spine, because that way your cover won't be able to be opened properly. So I will remove plastic backing from the tape. And then I have my notepad. And again, I align it properly with the cover. And now I can wrap this around the spine and then over the back side. And then you can remove the clips and you are done. And as you can see, spine is free here, and you can open this and hold it in your hand and use it like this. The cardboard on the back side adds stability, and it's easier to write and to hold it in your hand. And the folded cover protects the pages when carrying the notepad around in a bag or in a pocket. To make the notepad more durable when keeping it in your bag or in your pocket, you could even attach a rubber band to the lower part of the notepad so that the pages won't open, wrinkle or tear while the notepad is in your bag. I'll show you how it goes. I will mark the middle of this one at about 1 centimeter distance from the lower end. So it's 4 centimeters here. And then I will punch a hole here in the middle. Then I have a rubber band here. And attach it through this hole like this, and then pull one loop through the other so it looks like this. And now it can just pull this rubber band over the lower end of your notepad, and it secures the pages a bit. And before we finish, I would like to show you another simple cover option. So this is a simple hinged cardstock cover, and this one is made from a longer piece of cardstock and wrapped around the whole notebook, so the pages are protected even better. And you can tuck it into this folded piece here. I'll show you how it goes. So the construction of this cover is quite simple. It's made from one long scored piece of cardstock with a folded part on one side and a tuck-in flap on the other one. And these are the measurements. The whole thing is 33 by 8 centimeters. And for this 8 by 15 notepad, I have 1.5 centimeters here, then 2, 0.5, that this is the thickness of my notepad, then 15, 0.5 again, and 13.5. And I marked these at the folds already so you can see them better. So what I do first is glue this one here and secure it in place. So this is this one. Then I have 2 folds here, and it looks like this. And I have a finished notepad already, which I will glue here. But now you have to apply glue on the whole. Oops, this one is empty. So you have to apply glue on the whole back cover, cardboard. And this is the open part, and this is the closed part. And the closed part, the glued part, comes here. And you have to see that you align it properly with this fold. Like so. And then apply a bit of glue here as well, but not until the top, because we need this one to tuck in the flap. So, and it looks like this. And then all you have to do is to tuck this flap in here, and you have a finished notepad that is secured in our bag and the pages won't wrinkle. And these are the finished notepads. They're little, practical, and made almost entirely from materials that might otherwise have been discarded. I always like it when leftover paper from one project becomes the beginning of another one. And because these are so handy, they're perfect for lists, reminders, and everyday notes, and you can even offer them as a gift. I hope you like this little paper craft project. And in my next video, I will turn one of these notepads into a reusable hardcover version, so only the paper block needs to be replaced when it's full. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Feel free to like and subscribe if you like this tutorial, and stay tuned for more bookbinding videos. Happy crafting!